Hello, my name is Ueda from Research Institute of Hybrid Astrology. Today, I'm going to talk about the difference between Western astrology, so-called horoscope, and Eastern astrology, Oriental astrology. Okay, it contains Chinese astrology or maybe Japanese astrology. Okay. Uh, as a history, in the history of the astrology, astrology is one of the oldest information in our history. When we found some calendar or some letters or words in the record of the history, it always there. It was always there was a calendar. Time is very important thing for older or the ancient people. So maybe Mesopotamia people, they already have this kind of calendar and astrology. So if the Mesopotamian people is oldest, maybe there was a calendar and astrology, and so maybe Chinese astrology came from the Western area, like maybe the astrology or calendar, the oldest calendar moved over to the China and next Japan, I guess. So anyhow, how different it is. It is, calendar is basically all the calendars basically based on the movement of planets and the movement of the rotation of the Earth itself. There's anything else that we can count the time. So all ancient people found some kind of order of the change of the time. So easiest way to find it, the simplest way to find it is when the daytime and the length of daytime and the length of nighttime is just the equal. This is spring equinox. Spring equinox day. It must be usually May 20, March 20th or so. And next, the day, the longest night, the day in the day was about maybe December 3rd was so like that. So this is winter solstice. So winter solstice, the day of the winter solstice is the starting point of the Capricorn, and the spring equinox is the starting point of the Aries, but while they moved into the Chinese people or Eastern people, maybe Eastern people try to find some another way of time or for movement of the things or so. Otherwise, they have a theory of 5 elements. So it just it it put together and they thought if there's some kind of fortune, movement of the fortune, okay, say spring movement of spring element, movement of spring element is called wood or green movement because it is a time that all the greens like trees or grass sprout, you know. But hey, just stop and think. Is it actually is this the time of the spring equinox when the sprout starts to sprout? No, it must have been much before. So they assumed that real the real starting point of green or fortune or creatures, living things, must be the just the half middle point of the winter solstice and spring equinox. It is about February 4th, was February 3rd or February 4th. It is just midpoint of the Aquarius. So in the western area and in the eastern area, there are two point of views that observe the human nature or human fortune. And so I think Western astrology can tell the eternity of some individuals, because when we are young or when we are old, still we are the same individual. It won't change, I believe. So it sometimes reflect on the eternity, like real personality of individuals or eternal part of the works of art. This is why I started researching the astrology. But the other thing was there. It is this way of thinking of Eastern people. It is, this is just kind of the matter of degrees in the Western astrology, because like Aries 10 degrees of Aries, but in Eastern astrology we never say that 10 degrees of 10 degrees of the tiger of the year or rat year. We don't count the degree. Why? Because the movement or some kind of cycle was there. So the cycle of that fortune cycle was it must be the same in quality. If it is if like circulation of the air or hot water in the bathtub, so it makes a lot of movement, and it moves us to some way, like which we call fortune, movement of fortune. So movement of fortune must be different from the personality of individuals. So that's the way Eastern people thought, and it connected to the five elements. Five elements is green or trees, one, and the second is fire. The third is earth or soil. The fourth is rock or knives or metal. Fifth is water. And water, the last one is water, but water produces the tree or green. And green is burnt to the fire. And fire, when fire seizes, it becomes soil. And when soil is put together, it becomes a metal. And if there's a metal, it gathers water of the air. So these five elements always circulating. So this is February 4th. Usually February 4th is the starting point of the seasons of 5 elements. In that way, Eastern people found the other astrology. Does that make sense? Thank you so much for the listening today. I'm Ueda from Research Institute of Hybrid Astrology. See you next time. Bye bye.